Hello and welcome to Face to Face Turkey. In this episode, we will host two distinguished guests from African continents. We have Sadiq from Ethiopia. He's in this studio right now with us. Welcome, Sadiq.
Thank you.
And we'll have another friend from Istanbul. He's currently living in Istanbul and he will join us over Skype. His name is Musa and from Ghana. Welcome to Face Turkey.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let me start with Sadiq from Ethiopia. Sadiq, you have came here years ago for your master's study, but before coming to Turkey, you were a teacher in a company, we can say, related to Ethiopian Defense Ministry. And you have been giving some teaching on international and communication technology. That was, we can say, a very good position. Why did you choose to come to Turkey, leaving that position?
Thank you very much. Thank you for this chance. Yeah, as you said, I was working at a defense industry that has 13 companies within it, which has so many things to do for the country. And I was working as a public relations there, actually, but I was teaching in another different school, ICT teacher. I was doing two jobs at the same time.
You are doing two jobs at the same time, and you left that two jobs for Turkey.
Yeah, actually, I did that because I want to pursue my classes. Honestly speaking, I want to be a distinguished person in field of journalism. I want to be somebody. I want to contribute something to my country and to the discipline as a whole. So I left it for school as soon as I got the chance from Turkish scholarships.
So you received Turkish scholarship. You got Turkish scholarship and you came here for your master's study, right?
Yeah.
So you completed your master's.
Yeah.
And now?
And now I am studying my PhD at Ankara University.
You are doing your PhD?
Yeah.
Also with a scholarship or?
Yeah, again, I won the Turkish scholarship again.
Wow.
So
actually, normally it's very tough to get double scholarship. I mean, after finishing one, it's very tough. And to get that scholarship, you need to be one of the most, how can I say, the meritorious students. So I think you were very successful in your life, I mean, in your student life here.
Yeah, actually, I really strive to get whatever it takes to be the best student. And actually, I got experiences in Turkey in journalism. So I think that makes me be one of the winners this year. So
experience is important.
Yeah,
you say that experience is important for getting some government scholarship in Turkey. So you are a scholarship holder from the Turkish scholarship, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me turn to our another guest from Istanbul. He is joining us from Istanbul. He came here long ago. He was a high school student at the very first time, and he completed his study, and it was in Turkish language. And I know that it is very difficult to continue Turkish language, to continue a study with Turkish language when you are a, how can I say, teenager. Musa, what was your story? What leads you to come to Turkey at that very early age?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you for hosting us in this program, and I'm extending my my greetings to my colleagues Sadiq and everyone watching us. Yeah, I would say it wasn't an easy journey, but when I was in Ghana, I think after completing school, and we had some exams normally before coming to Turkey. There wasn't scholarship like and the Turkey Bursları that we are having now. It's just some organization will come to the region and they will conduct some exams. So through the exams. If you win, then they will bring you to Turkey. So the journey started from there, whereby maybe thousands of students participated in that exams. And the funny thing is, and from these 1,000 students, it's only maybe 3 or 4 students are chosen to come to Turkey. So we say thank God we participated in the exams, and we were among the 4 people. We were three people, and we were brought to Turkey. And we didn't stay in Istanbul, we didn't stay in Ankara. We go through to a city called Kayseri, and that's where the journey started. Without knowing any language, even marhaba that we know is just from Arabic. I would say it is zero, everything. So through this, we started to manage and learn the Turkish and to come to this position. Yeah.
After arriving in Istanbul, from Istanbul to Kayseri, your school was in Kayseri, and from Istanbul to Kayseri, it is, I think, more than 1,000 kilometers far from Istanbul. How did you travel all this way without having any single Turkish word?
Yeah, this is very interesting, but that we came with the Turkish Diyanet. This in that organization, they brought us here. So probably when we came out from the airport,
Foundation, one of the state-run foundation in Turkey that provide a scholarship and also humanitarian assistance to several countries, right?
Exactly. So they will have some representatives who will receive us from the airport, and from there they will go to the bus station, and they have our ticket, everything ready, and they will just put you in the bus, and you take like 12 hours from Istanbul to Kayseri.
I know, but I know that you have some interesting experience while traveling by bus. I think inside bus something happened. Can you explain us? Can you tell us what happened there?
Everyone has a story, of course, and because we've been in this country for a long time too, and we had a lot of stories, and to the extent that we don't think it's even maybe a story, But you are in a bus that we all know in the Turkish distant transportation. They will reach to some places that you need to go and have some rest. So we were in the bus that some one of us, wanted to have a rest. Because he asked the driver, and we don't know how to ask the driver. We want to rest, we want to buy some food. We don't know where we're gonna stop. So one of our brothers went to the driver and tried to speak with him English. He doesn't understand. The Turkish, we don't know. We know the Arabic language, some few words we try. So we are an alien, let me say. We came from nowhere, no one understands us. They just tried to talk with us till we were patient and we reached to some place that we take rest. And that's how the journey started, and we reached to Kayseri. So that time it was really, really difficult for a foreigner to come to Turkey without knowing a word, the Turkish word. Because that time, the English, of course, quite people know, but not much. So it is very, very difficult for a foreigner to have a communication with the citizens. But now, as we see, many improve and it get better day and day.
So after that, you learn Turkish, and all of your courses were in Turkish language, right?
Exactly.
That is cool.
Yeah, it was Turkish language. The interesting thing that I want to point out here is, and I think that's one of the fundamental, of learning a language. And we can see the differences when we are speaking with maybe Turkish and colleagues who are teaching English or who are learning English in Turkey. Like you see a kind of gap, and that is, we came from Africa, we don't know even a single word in Turkish. but within some times we were able to speak the language. You get it? So how did it happen? So we are in a class that the teacher herself doesn't know even a single word in English. So this is the differences. The student doesn't know anything in Turkish and the teacher doesn't know anything in English. So you see how they can communicate. I mean, you can guess how the class is going to be. It's going to be silent, but with action. So, so this is the interesting thing. We started like we are learning the weather. It is cold. The teacher will just say soak, and she'll be making some actions for us to understand this is cold. If it is warm, she said okay, sejak. Then she'll be doing some signs to tell us that okay, this means the weather is very hot. So these are the kind of procedure that we pass through and try to learn this Turkish. It's a funny story, but that's the fact.
So you have overcome all these difficulties and you successfully completed your study there, and then you got another scholarship and continue your honors, or we can say undergraduate level here in Turkey. I will come back to you. Let me ask another question to our host here. Mr. Sadiq, you said that you have some media experience in Turkey that also help you to get your scholarship for PhD. What kind of experience did you have in Turkey, and how did you get that experience, media experience especially?
Okay, thank you very much again. In Turkey, as my friend Musa mentioned, there are so many things that we faced when he came. Firstly, I want to say something about that actually. The thing is, when we come to Turkey, we just, especially me, I was anticipating something to change my life forever. That is what I think whenever I left my country. I have to change for good. I have to create something that will sustain throughout the whole my life. So when I firstly come to Konya, I studied in Selçuk University, my master's. I was trying to find some opportunities. I was trying to get some trainings, media trainings. So that was the very point that I first started to take trainings from Anadolu Agency. The year I come, I have taken a training from Anadolu Agency.
A media training from Anadolu Agency in Turkey.
Yeah, that was the point where I started to okay, there are these opportunities. I can go further and ask them if I can work with them, ask them if I can get experience, at least as an intern journalist. That was what scratched me at the first place. And then, I heard that Anadolu Agency is a very big institutions that has offices in so many countries. And fortunately, there was one office in Ethiopia. And the African center for Anadolu Agency was in Ethiopia. So I was very lucky to know that. And then I started to get in conversations with Ibrahim Bey, who leads the African team in Ethiopia. So he assigned me to talk to the Anadolu Agency, and then I joined Anadolu Agency. That was my experience over here. Since 2018, I started to work in Anadolu Agency as African desk writer. Then I become a new media specialist, and here I am.
Yeah. I think it's really tough to get chance in such kind of institute or such kind of news agency in Turkey. Yeah. It is the top news agency in Turkey, and I know hundreds of students, we can say Turkish graduate who graduated from this subject, media and radio, television, and communication. They also want to get chance into another agency to work with another agency. So, as a foreigner, you are there, and you are a media specialist, and you have been working for, I think, many years in another agency. So what do you think? What kind of experience did you get from there?
Actually, there are so many things that I can say in this regard, but I want to really incorporate the experiences that really, as I said before, that really changed my way of thinking, my way of understanding to life. So when I get into Anadolu Agency, I started to understand that the working environment and the theory environment was really
Is there any
different.
international working environment, or some local people are working there? What?
There is, of course, international news environment. That is what makes me see the whole world out of that whole, out of Anadolu Agency's angle. I can see especially the Middle East, the Asia Pacific, and the African stories from that angle, that very angle. Because as you know that there are agenda pushes from the Western side of media that really constitutes ideas, understandings, and some sort of knowledge. So I started to see that angle, that the way Anadolu Agency propagates things were somehow fine by itself, somehow fine and retuned from that angle. So that makes me see my own angle, search my own angle. So that is the very good experience that I can mention from Anadolu Agency, not to mention friends there, the international environment, as you say, the organization structure. But the very experience that I can say I can really speak about is the angling of stories, the agenda of stories, and how to work towards your cause. That is what I get from Anadolu Agency, and it was ample experience for me.
So now you are continuing your profession at Anadolu Agency, and at the same time you're continuing your PhD at a university in Ankara.
Mm-hmm.
So how you can manage all this? I mean, these two things, and also I know you're married and
Mm-hmm.
you newly married. So how do you manage all these things? Is it difficult, and especially in a foreign country?
Oh, that is a hell of a question. I don't know how to explain this, but there is something I believe on, and that is whenever you are going to some goal, to a specific and understood, already explained vision that you see, then things are like a magnet. You know, I am studying journalism. I am working as a journalist, and my wife also inspiring to do on this field.
Okay.
So that is something that I get in my way. All things start to reinforce my field. So
Yeah.
that is towards my goal. Whenever I work something, for example, when I study PhD, I can reinforce my work environment, my experiences. When I work hard and become a successful person, I can lead my family life good. So that is
So there is combination.
yeah,
between
a
these
combination between these
That's
things.
great.
Mhm.
Let me turn to our guest in Istanbul, Mr. Musa. You have completed. We were talking about your life. You have completed your high school, and then you got a scholarship, another scholarship for your undergraduate study. Can you tell us how did you get that scholarship, and was it easy for you, for a foreigner, to get a scholarship after completing high school study in Turkey?
Well, I would not say it was easy that time because immediately after completing high school, there is, of course, to apply for universities, you need to get high GPA. And some of the university, they have some standard of grades for some courses. And at the same time, the Turkish scholarship just also popped in. It was a new project that started. So I think we were maybe the second or the third batch, let me say. So after all this, after high school, you need to, in a foreign country, I mean in Turkey, you need to enter some exams like yours, or you need to enter some exams like SAT to get high grade, to have some grades to support what you have, because the high school is not, is although recognized in Turkey, but it's like you are competing with the Turkish students at the same time. And the Turkish students, they need to enter another exams, which we all know. I mean, the national exams. And as a foreigner too, you cannot use just your high school certificate to enter. So it's a challenge. What do you have to do? There is yours, there is SAT. You need to also back up your certificate with another exams. So I quite remember, and most of the high school guys used to go outside and learn mathematics and learn other subjects. They used to have, and some teachers pay them, because the logic is, if you finish, you graduate from here, high school, can you go back and start university in your country? It is difficult, because you need to go back again and enter that exams before you can enter your university. If you stay here in Turkey, how can you get into the university? You cannot just use your certificate, you need to take some exams. So we were in between, we were struggling in between. Yeah, we take some courses, how to pass those exams. And after that, for me, and speaking, I just used my certificate and applied for YTB, the Turkey Bursları, which, and I was one of the top students. Not, and only that, as Sadiq was saying, he had some experiences, he had some interaction with people. I was the president of students in that year. So I got a lot of experience, and I had that courage that it's not going back, it's continuing my study here, which I was supported by my teachers, that yeah, not going back, but because of the potential that you have, you need to continue your university here. And I did apply, and Alhamdulillah, I got the scholarship, the Turkish scholarship that year. And yet still I was reading, and I wanted to become a politician that time because I was a president, so that was the idea. Yeah, I applied international relations and political science, and I got to the interview, and one of the panel asked me, okay, you want to read these courses, why? I told him, okay, because this is the reason why, because of my country, I want to become a politician, and so on and so forth. He said, okay, if we accept you, where do you want to study? I told him I want Istanbul. He asked me why. I also tell him about Istanbul. Okay, I want to have another knowledge of Islamic knowledge and so on. And he said to me, hey guy, if you want to study politics, it's not Istanbul, it is Ankara that you need to stay. So I quite remember this kind of the conversation that went through us, and Alhamdulillah, they gave me Ankara. So it is two things. I was in Kayseri, I stay with the Kayserian, I learned how they trade. So here I started to be a businessman. From there, I left there, I came to Ankara to learn diplomacy. I'm done with
politician, huh?
And now I'm in Istanbul. Yeah.
So you are in Kayseri. Kayseri is one of the top business hub in Turkey, we can say. And then from Kayseri, you shifted to Ankara for politics, I can say. And I mean, in your mind at that time was that you want to be a politician, and you shifted to Ankara for your undergraduate study, and you completed your undergraduate studies. And can you say that you are a politician right now?
Well, partially I am.
The politics you are doing right now.
Exactly. I think it's something that takes time. You need to follow the news and the event that's going on day by day. And this is what we are trying to do. But I didn't stop there, because nowadays, I mean, politics is not all about just bargaining and those kind of things. It needs knowledge, but at the same time, I think the youth also need to establish themselves. I mean, to be strong, and financially, if we come to economics and aspect, we should also be strong at the same time, the knowledge. So after that, I'm following. I said, no, I need to know how to do business, because I have gained that experience from Kayseri. So I need to continue, and at the same time to be in the politics too.
Let me try to clear this. So you came to Turkey, came to Ankara for your undergraduate study, international relations and politics, and you finished that. So why you are in Istanbul right now? Why?
And after this study, I choose to read MBA, business administration, and that time my thinking was, yeah, I have the potential of becoming a politician. That's what I thought, and I still do have that courage. And I need to know how to manage, and management in terms of management, I think is going to help me in that sector. And I love those management and courses and those theories. I think it's kind of brings.
Studying MBA in Istanbul at a university.
I came to in Istanbul to continue my master's students MBA in Ibn Khaldun University. So that is how I shifted from Ankara to Istanbul. At the same time, that wasn't the case. At the same time, I was trying to have another business doing in Istanbul, like foreign trade and those kind of things. Yeah.
Very long journey from Ghana to Istanbul to Kayseri, and then from Kayseri to Ankara, and now from Ankara to Istanbul. So now you are in the capital of 3 continents right now, where a person can do business with all over the world and can do, we can say, the politics. But now currently I think we better to say some leadership program or some leading some groups and youths. You did so many this type of activities when you were in Kayseri and in Ankara. Can you tell us some of this type of activities, this type of leadership activities you did when you were in Ankara?
Well, from Kayseri, as let's say we were young, and we tried to mobilize the Africans and African guys in Ankara in our schools. And from there, when I came to Ankara I was part of the Ghanaian students in Turkey. I'm a Ghanaian student in Turkey. I was once the secretary, and through that we have another programs that we started doing within how to bring all the Ghanaians together. And I think that was one of the successful project that we had, and with the collaboration of the Ministry of Youth and Sports of Turkey, we went and talked to them, and we had a very, very fruitful programs and project that we did. So in Ankara, we established that kind of program, and we did it once in Konya. We were able to gather the Ghanaians in Turkey the first time. The second year, we tried the same thing, and we get to know each other again with the project. We didn't stop in Ghana. We took the same project to Ghana. And we had high school teachers, university graduates in that program. And that program was just to try to have some empowerment and development in the society, whereby a lot of, I cannot explain all those kind of projects, but just try to show even ladies how to use milk and to make cheese to that extent. So these are programs that, and I think, and I have participated, and I think we try to touch the life of people.
Somehow you mobilized African students in Turkey, somehow you mobilized, and I think there's that activities are still continue, and that activities will inspires African students, especially African students in Turkey, and generally all African youths in back in Africa. We hope that will happen very soon, and your activities, not only you team and all African friends, their activities will mobilize more Turkey, more African students across Turkey, the newcomers will also be inspired from your activities. Now let me turn to again to our guest in studio here. Mr. Sadiq, you were talking about your both professional life and academic life, and you said that you have a goal.
Yeah.
And you are working for that goal.
Yeah.
What is that goal exactly?
Specifically to mention, I want to create my own community, in a sense, awareness community, for that matter. You know that
Awareness community in Ethiopia or with the international community?
actually, the thing is, by awareness community, I was really clearly mentioned that I want to work in Ethiopia, actually. But the thing is, when you create an awareness community by itself, it expands by itself. You know, it expands itself because knowledge has no place. You can propagate it wherever you go. But the inspiration comes from the problems arise in our country, the disinformation, the propaganda, the fake news or something like that. I want to create an information community that is literate in reading media, not reading and writing, actually, in reading media propagation. So that is my goal, creating a person or a community who are aware of on how to read the media contents and how to refute those propagandas towards the society.
How to read the message?
The messages, how to read between the lines. That is what I want to create, a mechanism. I want to develop some mechanisms so that people could filter the news, the propagandas, the ideas between the lines.
Will that be some kind of online mechanism or online activities or in-person activities? That kind of?
Actually, the community will have all platforms in line, you know, from application, from software application to the website media, from in-person relation to institutions. It will be something that people can join as a library of information. People can access, can question ideas, can explain whatever they want, can debate on ideas and make them institutionalized. That is what I think. Whenever people come up with ideas, there should be some evaluation. There should be some question.
What was your master's thesis paper? Did you have any thesis paper on this regard? What was your master's thesis, subject of your master's thesis?
I have done my master's thesis on agenda setting theory.
Agenda setting theory. Wow.
Yeah, that is what I want to go on with. You know, whenever media literacy and media understanding comes up, we need to think of the agenda, what people are trying to propagate through that media ideology. So I want to devote my life to this. I want to create some community who wouldn't be influenced by the information that comes from the media. I want people to read, but when they read it, to read it with regards to their life, to their culture, to their life standards. That is how I see media, as you know, that we have already passed through so many media ideologies, careers, experiences. And as a media person, I can say that all media organization could work towards some agenda, towards some ideology. So the reader wouldn't know that. The reader wouldn't understand that unless you give him the mechanism to filter and understand such ideas. So I want to create that mechanism, that kind of mechanism, so that people can take whatever they want from the media. That is my...
Yeah, so you still want to continue in this sector, actually, in media sector, but while studying in Turkey and staying in Turkey and engaged closely with Turkish media, what is your relation, a personal relation we can say, with the Turkish literature? Do you have any interaction with Turkish literature, or how do you see Turkish literature here in Turkey?
You know, you just touched my soft point over here.
Wow, it's your soft point.
I really love Turkish poetry. I really love Turkish songs because I attach myself with it, especially the Sufi part of the poetry in Turkey. It's because I found closeness or proximity with Ethiopian culture. That is why the songs I hear, the poems I hear, reminds me the meaning of life, the meaning of idea, how to create relations with people. So I really love Turkish poetry.
So is there any similarity between the themes of poetries and these, especially you said that this Sufism, is there any similarities between Turkish and Ethiopian poetries in that regards?
Definitely. That makes me actually to become the fan of that part. There is really similarities. There are similarities that people may pass it on the surface, but I started to dig down why these similarities. Why are we understanding? Actually, it's not between the Turkish poetry and the Ethiopian poetry. You can access the Persian poetry, even the Indian poetry. You can access all over the Sufi world, especially the Eastern culture, has some commonalities, some common grounds to see on finding the meaning of life, on connecting connecting with the nature. So that is what I see in Turkish poetry.
So you are a good reader of Turkish poetry, just a good reader. I mean, you are digging the deeper inner of Turkish poetry, but only the reading is enough for understanding that, or did you do any other activities with Turkish poetries?
Actually, I try my best to not besides reading, I try to make it my own. I try to own the idea of Turkish poetry.
So you are writing poems? Or?
Actually, I try to write poems. I try to translate the poems from Turkish to Amharic, from Amharic to Turkish. I try to read the books and present them.
Is it a professional? I mean, are you doing it in a professional way, or just as a hobby? Just I am trying to translate. I translate it and throw to the dustbin, or are you doing any professional work on this? I mean, do you translate any Turkish poem in Ethiopian in a formal way and publish it?
Actually, I didn't publish it right now, but I have a website for such things. Actually, not only the Turkish poetry, Arabic, Turkish, Ethiopian, because I know only these three languages. I will try to manage the English poetry too, because the English poetry actually has a little or less communications with the Sufi world. But I try to find that color from it, and I will try to explain that in my website. And actually, after 2 or 3 weeks, I will launch that website, and people can see the works of Turkish poetry in Amharic and the works of Amharic poetry in English. Actually, for the time being, I started with Amharic English websites. In the coming months, I will try to open the Turkish and the Arabic part. So I want to swim in the poetry as a general hobby, because as I said, my goal is creating a community that can understand, that can read between the lines. And when somebody want to read between the lines, poetries are very meaningful things that try to propagate messages within them. So poetry would be a very good starting point.
Can you tell us 3 names from Turkish poets? 3 top Turkish poets that you like so much.
I love, for example, Yahya Kemal. The old, actually, these are very classic ones. Sheikh Galib, and actually not to forget about Najib Fazl, of course. So these are the Turkish poetries that I takes them into consideration whenever I read. But there are also Jahid Zarifoğlu, Nuri Pakdil. These guys inspired me, especially after I read Yedi Güzel Adam, seven.
Wow. Seven nice guys.
Yeah, seven nice guys, and I have seen the film, the drama about them. So they inspired me really. It was when they write, they don't only write the poem. They were trying to propagate ideologies, as if they were trying to create some revolution, as if they were trying to create some mob towards some ill thought, ill ideology. So in the coming future, I want to devote my life on creating some awareness about ill thoughts, ill ideologies. So poetry is a very...
Yeah, so it's a turn from journalism to poetry. Actually, these two, I mean, literature and journalism are interrelated. Really? Yeah. So you are a big fan of Turkish poetry.
Yeah.
It's very good to know that. Let me turn to our guest in Istanbul. Actually, we have come to our end of this program. We have so many things to discuss. I think we can host you again, but let me ask you, as a person who came to Turkey at a very early life and continue to travel so many cities, we can say the important cities, the capital city, the largest city, the economic hub, the touristic hub, we can say the business hub of Turkey, and lead some African organizations and African students, African community here, and who has a goal to be a leader or lead a more wider community. What is your message to African to African students and also people in Africa? What is your message to them?
Well, I think this question is going to take a whole of an program. Yeah, it is a big topic, but I will try to make it very short. Yeah.
I think that you have, of course, you have a very long message as a politician, we can say. But what is your message in short?
So I say, first of all, the most important thing is network. I think everyone will be saying network, but maybe we don't understand it. We think into the high perspective, like you should have network, how to get money or how to connect your businesses. Yeah, that's what we understand in this global era. But when we talk about a network, it's a kind of relationship with people that you are interacting with. To have contact with them, try to be with them, and learn from them. That's the most important thing. And I have a theory that I try to explain to young students, and I think that one is, as I said, it will be a program to explain all these things. It is a theory of the human being. Like, in terms of religion or belief, we have 4 people in this world. Someone will come to this world and succeed in this world, but will not succeed in hereafter. Someone will come, he will not succeed in this world, but the person will succeed in hereafter. One will come and succeed here in dunya and in akhirah too. And the last one is the person will fail in this world and fail in the akhirah. So I try to tell a student, think of this kind of people, these 4 people. Which one of the category are you in? That's the most important. So we should always be people that we try to succeed from here and there. But in case you don't succeed now, know that tomorrow you can succeed. So there is a point that you can start and you can make it. So I always say that we have win-win, we have lose-win, we have win-lose, and we have lose-lose. So a student should take this kind of category and try to fix himself. So that is my goal. That is how I approach people. And I'm telling myself, that this is a good stand, that we should check ourselves and know that we are valuable in this community, not only your country, but the people that we are staying in Turkey, the students and the citizens of Turkey. We should interact with them, we should learn from them, and we should become a useful and beneficial people. So that's the message I want to convey to everyone.
Thank you so much. A very meaningful message. You delivered really a very deep, meaningful message you delivered. Thank you so much for this. And our guest from Ethiopia, if we ask you, maybe especially for Ethiopian people, what is your message from Turkey for Ethiopian people?
I just want to say one thing. Just give time to time. Everything will be clear by itself in the coming period. So be patient and wait for what happens. And this is a message that I got from a Turkish poem. And it says like this: Hak hayırları, hak şerleri hayreyler, zannetme ki gayreyler, Mevla görelim neyler, neylerse güzel eyler.
So what comes from the God will be the good for us.
It is good for us, and let's wait for Him. Let's give Him to do something. Let's give Him time to do something for us good. So be good, be patient, and wait for what happens.
Thank you, Mr. Sadiq, thank you, Mr. Musa, for having us and for having this good discussion. We hope that we will host you again in another episode. And it was a very good discussion with both of us, and your presence with us make this program meaningful, and hope to see you again. And thank you, our viewers, thank you all for having with us, and see you in our next episode. Goodbye.